Hi, I'm Neil Cannon. If you're between the ages of 18 and 98, and if you're a man or indeed a woman, then I've got something really important to share with you. I'm going to be sharing with you why conditions like eczema and asthma and psoriasis and IBS and Crohn's disease and even obesity are conditions that can be considered a gift. That's right, I'm going to be sharing with you why conditions like those can be considered a gift. So why do I choose such a wide audience, you may be asking? This is a wide audience. Well, while this goes against marketing principle 101 of market to everyone and talk to no one, the message I have in this video is so important that I think you need to know, everyone needs to know, and I really hope I can hold your attention for the next 7 minutes. You see, these conditions, which I've just talked about, are a result of an underlying health condition which also leads to really serious illnesses down the road, like cancer, cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, strokes, Alzheimer's, neurodegenerative decline. So you may be thinking, that's great, Neil, thanks for sharing that this underlying health condition leads to all these chronic diseases. The point is if you have any of these conditions, this is your body's way of saying, hey, Neil, or whatever your name is, what you're currently doing isn't working, and if you continue doing that, you stand a really strong chance of developing the likes of cancer and cardiovascular disease and neurodegenerative decline, any of those conditions which are much more serious down the road. You see, this condition I'm about to talk to you about is the foundation for these chronic diseases. It's pretty much the foundation for every single chronic disease, and it accelerates biological aging. It makes you age faster. Let me repeat that. This condition which I'm about to talk to you about makes you age faster. And who wants that? So before I go on, you're probably thinking who the hell I am and why on earth should you give up any more of your time listening to me? Now, I know that our time is our most precious commodity, so I'm going to aim to give you massive value in the next few minutes. So why should you listen to me? Or why must you listen to me right now? 4 years ago, I wrote a book about increasing testosterone naturally through nutrition and fitness. Testosterone is the male hormone. I was actually trying to figure out a health condition of myself, which I was suffering from myself, and it made me go on a quest because I was looking at medical journals, reading up on it online and reading up on books, and also interviewing experts, and I came across a solution, and I was able to solve my problem, and then I wrote the book, and I was able to help other people solve the problem too. And since then, I've been a health coach and I help people from around the world get into great shape, not just men, but women as well now. So writing this book actually triggered a real fascination and curiosity and passion in nutrition, fitness, and health overall. And more recently, someone very, very close to me was diagnosed with this condition. It led to high blood pressure and then a stroke. Thankfully, a very minor one, but it's still happened. And I know that this could have been prevented with the right kind of advice, which he wasn't offered by his doctor. So it made me really want to go and find out about it. So I dug deep and I went to research this topic. And what I have found is just phenomenal. And that's why I've got to share this with you. So this condition it's chronic inflammation. And you may have heard of it, you may not have. So what is chronic inflammation? Before I look at that, let's look at acute inflammation. When you injure yourself, like an ankle or your knee or your elbow, a joint of some kind maybe, you become inflamed and your body does all it can. It sends the right fluids to it to repair the wound. It swells up and it becomes painful so you don't walk on it or cause further harm. It's your body's defense mechanism and your way of repairing that wound so no further harm is done and you can repair it, so it repairs itself. It's then put in the past, the injury is out of the way, and it's an amazing immune system response. Similarly, with chronic inflammation, this is your body's defense mechanism. It's your immune system's response to what it perceives as an attack on it. So by taking in certain food types consistently over a long period of time, or even a short period of time, develops into inflammation, and then over a long period of time, it develops into chronic inflammation. So a lot of the time it happens unnoticed unless you have one of these conditions I just talked about. So going back to my life, for example, I used to suffer from eczema. Now all I was given by the doctor was a steroid cream when it got really bad, which basically made it heal really quickly, but at the same time it had serious side effects, like it thinned the skin, and I actually lost pigment in various areas of my skin because of it. And I was also given some really terrible emulsifying ointments and creams that had more harmful ingredients in them than good. Now, I'm not trying to blame my doctor, because doctors are trained the way they're trained, but they're not actually trained in nutrition, or they receive very, very little nutrition training. So what this has enabled me to do, this new fascination in chronic inflammation, it's enabled me to also clear my own eczema, and I've realized that it's behind other conditions like asthma. So asthma is like the inflammation of your breathing apparatus. That's what causes it. But the solution is a localized steroid inhaler, which is very effective, but it doesn't treat the root condition. And IBS, Crohn's disease, these are inflammatory conditions too, which can be cured when you take out inflammatory foods from your diet. Let's talk about one of these inflammatory foods I'm talking about, one of these toxins. I like to call them alien food types, because our body doesn't actually recognize them. And when your body doesn't recognize something, it sees it as an invader, like an attack on the immune system. So it does everything it can, like it does with acute inflammation, to defend itself. So it becomes inflamed. It could be in your gut, it could be in your lungs, it could be in your blood, it could be in your brain, it could be anywhere. And it happens often unknowingly. So what are these food types? I'm not doing that just to be cool. That's the wrong use of this. I'm not doing it just to be cool. I'm saying food types because there is so much stuff in our society in modern day which is considered to be healthy, which isn't healthy at all. I'm not saying everything, but there are certain things that we have every single day which cause inflammation because they are alien to us. Our body does not recognize them. So what kind of foods cause inflammation? It's not just foods, by the way, in terms of toxins that we take in. It can be environmental toxins as well. But for now, I'm going to be talking about the foods that we take in unknowingly often. And the first one of these is trans fats. Now, you've probably heard of trans fats unless you've been hiding under a rock. Whoever does that. But trans fats are hydrogenated and partially, I can't stop smiling now. So trans fats come in the form of hydrogenated oils and partially hydrogenated oils. These oils in their natural state can actually be quite healthy. They're actually unsaturated fats. But what happens is they go through this chemical process whereby their molecular structure is completely changed. And what happens is they're heated to extremely high temperatures under very high pressure, and a metal catalyst is added to it to change it, like a hydrogen catalyst changes the molecular structure, and then it's cooled down to room temperature, and at room temperature these oils are more in a much more solid state. Or in the case of partially hydrogenated oils, they're in more kind of liquid form and often presented as vegetable oils, which we often fry in, or they're added to the likes of breakfast cereals and cereal bars, and margarine. Margarine is one of the biggest culprits for this kind of stuff. Breakfast cereals is one of the biggest scams of all time, in my opinion. Most breakfast cereals you find are loaded full of artificial flavorings and preservatives, sugar, and also these hydrogenated oils or vegetable oils. Trans fats have been linked categorically to inflammation and to increase LDL. That's your low density lipoprotein cholesterol. That's the one you want to keep low, but these trans fats raise it, and that's the dangerous stuff. So really bad stuff, trans fats, avoided at all costs. The reason they're used is to make things taste better and last longer. And another reason why the cereal aisle is just a ridiculous scam. It's one of the biggest money earners there is. You know, they use this yield of wheat that's super cheap, very, very cheap, and load it full of all these toxins, keep it the shelf life really long, tons of money, not so good for your health. Avoid trans fats, avoid most breakfast cereals. Another one I want to talk to you about is pesticides and herbicides and fungicides and insecticides and any chemical that ends in -ides, which is put on fruits and vegetables to defend them against attack from bugs and insects and pests. So these chemicals, I don't know if you've ever seen these images, but people who spray them have to wear 100% protective gear, like head to toe protective biological clothing. So you're probably thinking oxygen masks
kind of food
to spray these
kind of
fruits and
toxins
vegetables
cause inflammation.
The first
that
one I want to
alone
talk to you
should
about
make you think,
is
if you haven't seen them,
fats. And you've
what the
probably
hell are we
heard
doing
of this.
eating these?
And
we don't actually know what
thankfully,
happens between
them
being the fruits and vegetables being picked
in the form of
wherever they are in the
hydrogenated
world
oils
to
and
actually arriving
partially
on our plates or in the
hydrogenated
supermarkets.
oils. And the reason why they're so
reality
harmful
is not a
because
lot.
of the
They're picked and they're
process
put on
they go through,
lorries
the chemical
and they're shipped hundreds of thousands of
alteration
miles,
process they go through.
and then they end up
in
in
their
our
natural form. They
supermarkets.
can actually be
They
quite
might be
healthy, these
rinsed or something,
unsaturated
but
fats.
they
go
look
through
so
this
healthy,
process,
they look so
which
colourful,
involves
they're covered and
heating
coated
these
in these
oils at
pesticides and herbicides
extremely
and
high
fungicides and
temperatures,
pesticides,
under
and we
very
just think
high
we could wash them
pressure,
up and be fine.
and a metal
But
catalyst
in reality,
is added
you really
to
can't
them.
get rid of them.
So when
it's
they,
so worthwhile
this
going
actually
organic.
changes
I know
the
it's more
chemical structure, the
expensive,
molecular
but
structure.
I cannot think of a
And
better
when they're
investment of
cooled,
money than
they're
health.
more like
And
they're more
these
solid form. And in the
these
form of
pesticides and
partially
herbicides and
hydrogenated
fungicides,
oils,
all these chemicals
they're more liquefied,
are called
often
excitotoxins.
presented
They're
in the form of
carcinogens. They
vegetable
cause
oils,
cancer.
which
They've
typically
100%
look
categorically
healthy-ish, and
been
we
linked to
fry them.
cancer.
Or
And
we
they
don't
also
personally
cause
fry them.
endocrine
We
disruption.
fry
That's your hormonal
vegetables
balance.
and
It
foods in
causes your
them,
hormones to
and
become
they're also
imbalanced.
concealed in the likes
In
of
fact, for
margarine.
men, that's one
really,
reason why
really
testosterone
evil,
levels
unless
are
margarine is
dropping
made with
way
olive
too
oil or
fast. They're
something
dropping by
other-
about, they've dropped by 22% in
natural
2 decades.
oil,
And sperm cancer
margarine
almost
is pretty
halved.
evil stuff.
That's one of the contributors.
Also
to
in
that.
breakfast cereals.
Breakfast
cereal
being an
is
endocrine
one of-
disruptor
the
and an
breakfast
excitotoxin,
cereal
they're linked to
aisle.
various forms of cancer, as I
The
said.
breakfast cereal aisle,
particularly
I think, is one of the
breast
most
cancer, pancreatic
offensive
cancer,
aisles
colon
in the
cancer.
supermarkets, in the
Those
grocery
three cancers
stores.
have been linked to
even in the
these,
world, because they are
cytotoxins in the form
concealed.
of
They are
these. They're
so
actually called
beautifully presented, all
xenoestrogens.
these
They're
breakfast
environmental
cereals,
estrogens.
and they're
So
touted as healthy
a little bit
whole
too
grain
much
this or healthy
information
whole
there,
grain
maybe
that.
too much to
Give
take
yourself
in. I
all
hope
this
that's okay.
fibre, and it's
The point
just
I'm trying to make
complete,
is these are things that we take
it's
in
not
almost every day and
because
unknowingly can
a
cause
lot
us
of these
harm.
trans
so really
fats
worth
are
going
added to
organic
them to
as much as you
preserve them and
possibly
make them
can.
taste better.
There's actually certain things that we don't
disguised
have
often
to go
as
organic
vegetable
with. Or,
oils.
you know, there
In
is so
tomorrow's
much
video, I'm
harm
actually going to be
because,
talking about one of the
protected
main
by a really hard
ingredients in
shell
these
and
cereals, which
it's
causes so much
less
damage.
dangerous
But
than
not for now.
other kind of
So
things.
these
So
trans
those
fats
are two
are
examples.
really, really
in the next
important
few
to
days,
avoid.
I'm going to be the next video. I'm going to be talking about one staple food that you're almost guaranteed to be consuming, which causes inflammation, and it's changed a lot since its origin when it came out many years ago. So I want to be sharing with you this modern staple food that we have every day, and I'm going to be talking about how my previous diet was a recipe for inflammation, and it was considered conventionally healthy. So I'm going to be breaking down a day in the life of me and my previous diet, so I can share with you how it causes harm, how it causes inflammation, and if it creates inflammation in your body, then you know further down the road it probably will lead to further conditions, health problems, and accelerated aging. So I hope you found that really useful. I hope I've sparked a bit of curiosity in your mind, and I hope it's raised a few questions. Please ask your questions below this video. Please share this video if you found it useful. Please like this video if you found it useful. The final thing I want to say is in a few weeks, I'm going to be releasing my second book, which is all about this health condition. And I think I've covered most things that need to be covered. I believe I have, based on all my research and interviews with experts in this field. If there are any questions that you have related to this condition, I want to endeavor to answer those. So when this is released, you'll have all your questions answered. So please fire away with any questions that you have. And I'm going to answer them, I'll back them up, and I really hope this adds tremendous value. I hope this viewing has been worthwhile, and I hope to see you in the next video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Please like and share and comment, and I will see you in the next video. One more thing, it's not all doom and gloom because there is so much great, amazing, nutritious, wholesome, tasty food out there. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of that as well. So it's not all doom and gloom, it's all amazing in fact. So I'm going to be sharing with you the solutions, how to reverse inflammation, and it's going to be very worth your while tuning in to the next few videos. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.